Guys, welcome back to the Worship Keys podcast. If you've never been here before, my name's Carson Bruce, and I have the pleasure of hosting this wonderful podcast, and I'm so glad you're here. Shout out to Aerospace Audio for being a sponsor of this episode. If you've been around for a little bit, you know that I've been talking about Aerospace Audio, and if you haven't tried using their drone pads, you need to. They have an app, and they have a physical drone pedal, like an analog pedal. A lot of guitarists use it. You need to check them out. But guys, today I'm so excited to welcome my guest, Jeremy Caruthers. Jeremy, welcome to the Worship Podcast, man.
Thank you, man. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here in Nashville, just in town for some songwriting sessions, some recordings. You're working all the time with different artists. And guys, this episode's a little different because today we're really focusing on writing and producing for global missions. We never actually talked about this, Jeremy. And my sister is a full-time missionary in Honduras, in Central America. And I know you have been with Far Flung Tin Can. Were you with them when they were in Guatemala?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So in Tyler, you had on the podcast.
Yeah, Tyler Richardson.
Yeah, he did Come Lord Jesus. That song that we recorded, I was the engineer and co-produced it. And I'm also on the bass in that recording.
Come on, man.
So I kind of get thrown around, multi-instrumentalist. So it's like I just fill the gaps and kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Not the best knife, not the best bottle opener, not the best, pair of scissors, but I can get the job done if I need to.
Come on, man. Come on.
So yeah, no, I was there. That was
incredible.
my first recording with Far Flung, actually.
I love it. Far Flung Tin Can is one of those groups that I've been following along since I was younger, and you've been working with them for 15 years now?
Yeah, over 15 years now. It's going on 16, but yeah.
Now, tell us about the rebrand. You guys are rebranding to Far Flung Worship, is that right?
Yeah, so we've released all of our music under the name Far Flung Tin Can. All of the DSPs, it's just Far Flung Tin Can. We put all of our soundtracks under from our documentaries and stuff. Everything is under that artist ID. But we're kind of branching out now and trying to maybe play by the rules of the music industry and the algorithms a bit more.
Right.
And making some efforts just to kind of increase our influence and even put missions more on the forefront of culture. And part of doing that is creating Far Flung Worship.
I love it, man.
And releasing under that. So that's what we're doing right now, that whole rebrand and kind of making that new artist for the DSPs and stuff. So
that's incredible, man. And a lot of people who are listening to the podcast, maybe they live in Tennessee, Nashville, maybe they live in Alabama, California, New York. We have a lot of listeners here in the States, but we also have a few global audience members as well, and I know that global missions is the heart for Jesus. Going into the world and spreading the gospel, man, the Great Commission, go ye therefore, teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things, whatever I've commanded you, lo, I'm with you even into the end of the world. So we know that global missions, God has called us to go, whether that's our neighbor, that's our neighborhood right here, or maybe that's another state over, another country over, another continent over. But really, what's really cool about you, Jeremy, you've literally written and produced in the Amazon jungle and in like the Arctic Circle over glaciers of ice in Central America. You've used generators for power. There's some stories today, guys. So if you're interested, how do I even produce? Maybe I am a missionary. How do I connect with other artists and musicians? Because I feel like in a lot of these rural, hard to get to Amazon jungle places, that there's not a lot of high level production being brought there because logistically it's hard, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
So I want you to tell us, man, how did you even start doing this? What are the logistics of recording in somewhere like, you can think about Guatemala, but you guys had easy power access probably there.
Yeah.
But tell us about Amazon jungle and the Arctic, and man, how did that even happen?
Well, first of all, I think a lot of the credit goes to the leader of our organization, Kyle Philippi. He kind of has these ideas and then goes, you can figure that out, right? And you're like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And man, he's just over the past 16 years now, he's just had incredible ideas and incredible vision, and also had the ability to put teams together of volunteers that could fulfill those visions and actually do it.
Yeah.
So just want to honor him and give honor where honor is due. These were his ideas, and I was kind of tasked with making them happen. So yeah, the first recording that we've already referenced in Guatemala was, hey, we're going to try to raise money to finish this orphanage, and we're going to go record in front of the orphanage, and we're bringing some really killer singers and songwriters. And he basically met me at a Mexican restaurant and said, I heard that you record, can you do it? And I was like, yeah, Yeah, of course. I could do that. Guatemala on the side of a mountain, like up there, like the logistics of communicating with people there for the equipment we can have. Yeah, we'll figure all that out. And
so you were over all of the production for that?
oh yeah, executive produced the
Incredible.
whole thing. I had never done anything of that scale or budget or consequence, like not even close.
Wow, man.
But I went to Honduras. My dad took me the first time when I was like 10.
Okay.
And then I went every summer for several years. So I was always on the mission field. I always felt comfortable going where there wasn't any running water, electricity, because it had become normal to me by the time I was 20, you know. So I just said, I'll figure it out. And I remember getting up from that table and going, oh boy, I guess I really got to figure this out. Because you got to think, when you go places like that, there's certain things you can't forget.
Right.
There's certain things that you can't get. There's no Guitar Center.
Yeah.
There's no Amazon. You usually have a schedule that's like super tight. So that recording was one of those. And two things happened. We flew to Miami for a transfer. I believe it was Miami. And when we landed, we found out that a volcano erupted. And we couldn't go to the airport in Guatemala anymore, and it was covered with ash. So we had to stay in Miami for like 2 days. Well, those were our recording days.
Oh, okay.
So then when we finally get there, we land, and by the time we get to the recording location, it's like 9 p.m., and we have to record that whole album.
Oh, my goodness.
So we recorded that whole album in one night from about 10 p.m. to about 4 a.m.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was like the album that really put us out there. I mean, it was a lot of the songs and the songwriters, Tobin and JoJo Shoemate and Tyler and Jonathan Etienne and Lacey Barker and Jahan Cox. They wrote these songs that really like got us a lot of attention, got us on the road at the ramp and youth conferences. And Lou Engle, we played on the Mall in DC and at the Call. So that was kind of like the catalyst for Far Flung Tin Can in our worship to really get out there, and we recorded it in 6 hours.
That's insane.
After this volcano goes off. And the funny part about that is we rented a console, and this was back in the days of Firewire.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And you remember Firewire cables?
Yes.
It was like worse than USB. It was like
3
3-pin to 12 to 10 to, I don't even know what it was. It was like crazy, just weird shapes, and I never understood it, and I used it for a decade.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember as I'm walking out of my house to go to Guatemala, I have this Ziploc bag, like a freezer bag of just Firewire cables.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I know what Firewire port is on that console. I know which one is on this MacBook. But just in case, I just grabbed this. I didn't have room in anything because we're like carrying racks, you know.
Sure.
For carry-ons. And so I'm like, I'm just going to throw it. Shoved it in my book bag, and we leave. And I get there, and sure enough, when I get there, it had like a different sound card on the console. It was a different Firewire.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, oh, no. So I'm like pulling each cable out, and I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Right.
Dude, and I had one. Remember, it's 10 p.m., and we have to be done that night.
Sure.
That recording would not have happened. The song you talked about that Tyler wrote
Come Lord Jesus,
would not have been recorded if I had not grabbed that Ziploc bag and that one cable, because you're just in Guatemala at 10 p.m.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to work.
So, I mean, that was the grace of God.
It's wild.
There's plenty of other stories like
console,
that.
Do you remember what brand it was and what console it was?
I have no clue.
Was it like a Presonus?
It was like just a digital board, you know. I don't know if it was like
a Yamaha or something.
Okay. It was something like that you might have found, you know, in a church or something at the time.
Sure.
I mean, it was a decent console. I mean, the recording kind of speaks for itself. It turned out pretty well.
Sure.
And even in all these recordings, one thing we really try to do in Farflung is maybe 10% post-production max.
Okay.
We're going to try to leave
very authentic,
pretty much everything. Yeah. We a lot of the stuff we do for the video, because you're in the jungle or in the Arctic Circle or on the mountain or wherever you're at.
Yeah.
And we really want the audio to match that video, and that's really kind of the main part. We want to tell the story of what's happening on the ground where we're at, and not overproduce something.
I love that. Tell me more about the organization and the heart behind, and how it actually benefits like global missions, because we know we're in music. We know production kind of gets a bad rap sometimes in the church world, because, hey, if you're going to spend whatever it is, X amount on this, but not give towards the orphans or give towards this, give towards that. So talk about a little bit the balance between the cost of production and the logistics of that, and being able to, yes, get pro people to record it, to mix it, master it, edit it, all the things, and also still be able to profit enough or give to that organization. How do you guys do that?
So we are a nonprofit, and virtually everyone for 15 years has volunteered their time.
That's incredible, man.
So I volunteered up until I went full-time in 2021. So our production costs are really, really cheap.
Wow.
We have to fly to get out there, but we're also very resourceful.
Yeah.
And we don't, it's kind of like our riders, because of the place, our tech riders, because of where we play, are kind of like, we need a drum kit if you have one, and we'll take a keyboard. And it's
Anything?
like, and whatever it is, when you
right.
get there, it's like, that's kind of,
That's it.
That's kind of what it is. And so we don't spend a lot of money on production at all. Also, the heart of the organization is for hard to reach people. We say that we like to give everyone access to the work that God is doing in places they might never access, whether that's through video.
Yeah.
We take people on trips now. We do like 12 trips a year to about 8 or 9 different places. Take over 200 people every year out in the mission field. We take them down the Amazon River, 500 miles. It's really hard to reach places.
Wow.
And actually, it's places that a lot of times people don't go there because it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Financially, it doesn't make sense. Logistically, it doesn't make sense. There's so many reasons that you shouldn't go to the places that we go. But because of that, there aren't people going to those places.
Yeah.
So we do this unashamedly. We'll expend. We did a trip to the Amazon where we recorded on the boat in the river while it was running, where we recorded in the Amazon jungle. And on that trip, we took about 90 people. It was a very big budget. We had people from 16 different countries, all these languages on the boat, all missionaries and pastors and musicians. And we were just going village to village and doing ministry. And we would play music, and we actually forgot to take cymbals. So we stopped at a random village and we're like, y'all got cymbals in this village? And they were like, yeah, actually. And they gave us like a hi-hat and a crash cymbal and recorded the whole album. And then on our way back, just stopped back at the village like, thanks, Thank you. So that was a miracle in and of itself. It's like a ram in the bush, like freaking hi-hat in the Amazon is pretty much the equivalent there. And but yeah, we took 90 people, this big budget. We went 500 miles down the Amazon. Our final destination, there's an episode on YouTube called Sailing to Nowhere on our YouTube channel. And because Kyle, our leader, basically, we get on this boat. We're like, where are we going? He's like, I don't know, down the river. And he'd been planning this for years, all these people. And he's like, we're just going, we're sailing to nowhere. But the cool thing is you leave space for like these amazing God encounters to happen.
Yeah.
And we end up going all that way, all that planning, all those people, and our final destination ends up being a village that no outsider had ever been to before, and there's maybe 20, 25 people in that village. That was our final destination that God had for us. But when we get there, the chief of that village says, we were like, sorry, we ran out of gifts. We were giving gifts. We didn't have anything. We're about to turn back because we got to get back to the airplane. We got 4 days back, we got to turn around. Right. This was that last evening. We're like, hey, sorry, we don't have any gifts. And through, 2 translators from his dialect into the Portuguese into the English,
Right.
He says, I don't need any gifts. I've been praying that God would send someone. The only thing I need is for you to tell me which God heard me. This is insane. And this story is 30 minutes long, and I truncated it to that. The whole story is insane. If you watch that episode, you get to see where we unwittingly, unknowingly, and it's 20, 25 people that God orchestrated, years of planning, people from like 10, 15 different countries, however many countries it was, all of this money, and we find basically a family.
Oh my goodness.
And we say, it was worth it. It's like if you're like souls to dollars, we're probably not your ministry, because we'll spend $100,000 to find a family. And we're okay with that. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with souls to dollars. People need to know what their money is going to, and you'd be responsible and you steward things correctly.
Sure.
But God has put on our heart, to say, don't worry about all that stuff. Just get on a boat and see what happens. And we have amazing stories, and they're all documented because essentially we're really good at media. We've got a dozen full-length films, web series, kids show, and then all the albums and music we've put out.
That's incredible. Is this on the Far Flung Worship YouTube?
Far Flung Tin Can YouTube.
It's on their YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so people can see all that. We don't have anything on Far Flung Worship yet, but by the time this podcast is out, there will be some stuff. So
I love that, man. Okay, talk about a little bit of the being in the Arctic Circle in the middle of glaciers or ice, and tell us that story, a little bit of that, man.
Yeah, so people always say, what's the craziest place you've been? Because we've been in a lot of places, Pakistan, all over Africa, Latin America, all over Asia. We've been in a lot of places.
Right.
I pretty much found that, like, if you stick around the equator, like, a village is a village, kind of pretty much anywhere. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you go to a big city like Tokyo or New York, or kind of like a city is a city.
Right.
It's kind of the same. Alaska, or like where we go in Barrow, Alaska, inside 360 miles inside the Arctic Circle, that is not like any of these places.
That's insane.
It's like being on the moon.
Right.
Like, literally, we go out on the tundra sometimes. The ocean is froze. The tundra is froze. The aurora borealis is above your head, and as far as you see, there's nothing. It's just you feel like you're in outer space.
Right.
Really, and so that is one of the craziest places to go, and a lot of people like it. We see polar bears when we go. The first time we went, there was they have school buses, but like it's really small. You can walk from one end of town. There's only a few thousand people there. It's isolated by hundreds of miles. There's one flight in, one flight out. Like, it's on the northernmost point of Alaska, so there's just the ocean on one side and then nothing for hundreds of miles on the other side. It's an extremely isolated, remote place.
Yeah.
And they have school buses, and I'm like, you could walk. Like, I can stand here and see the end of town. Like, what do these kids need school buses for? And I was like, oh, it gets really cold. So maybe when it's like -60, which it gets to, I've been there when it was like -30 or 40.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe maybe it's the cold. And the local lady goes, oh, no, it's for the bears. So they have polar bears that that roam the town. I'm like, it's crazy. As you're walking out of like buildings there's like every exit to a building has a picture of the polar bear, and it's like, hey, don't forget. Like,
polar bear here.
And like apparently they'll stand behind the corners and like stalk people.
Oh my
so gosh. Like the bubble mirrors. There's bubble mirrors like around the corners of the building, so you can see if a polar bear.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what a thing to worry about.
Right, what a
You know
thing.
what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for real.
like we need to be careful. We need to put our kids on a bus because there was a polar bear in town a couple hours ago, and they keep like radio on, like police scanner radios on, like apparently in all their houses, so that somebody gets on there and is like, hey, we got a bear. And they're like, oh, there's a bear. So when there's a bear there, everybody knows.
Right.
And sometimes like multiple bears show up, and it's such a wild place. But we have our church up there that we support, and Dave and Tina up there, and like it's such a beautiful place that needs the gospel, and we have a great relationship with the North Slope Borough up there, which is the local government, and they will give us ice track vehicles and airplanes and send us out to all of these isolated villages, and we'll go into like a gym and a village that nobody ever visits and do worship services, and it's incredible. It's a whole different world up there.
Love that.
I mean, it's really cool. And to the point, one of Kyle's ideas was he wanted to do, while they're on the ice road, the frozen ocean, traveling to another village, he said, I want to do a recording while we're driving on the ice road. So I'm like, okay. And he said, we got 4 different trucks, and he's like, I would like to do a recording where everybody's recording at the same time in all of their different trucks. Now remember, it's like -50.
Oh, right.
You're in an F-350.
Oh man.
Going down an ice road, you know? And I'm like, cool, we'll figure it out. His idea, which I'm so glad, this is the moments I'm so glad I'm a part of the organization. His idea was to have 2 vans that had sliding doors, and one go forward and one go in reverse, and open the doors and run cables.
No!
And I was like, Kyle, please. And he might have been joking. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, I don't know, dude. So I said, no, how about we do this? And I came up with the idea to do an FM transmitter.
Okay.
So basically you had a MacBook and a DAW with some stems and a click. We actually did a kick drum instead of a click because it's a little easier to low cut or high pass the mics and get the sound out because it doesn't compete with the vocals.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So it's just something I do. I don't know. Somebody probably has
grab
a better.
that tip right.
Yeah. So we had in the first truck had an FM transmitter, and it was literally like you can hear it, and there's a video of this. And they started. They're like on radio. I was like, "You ready?" And they're like, "Yeah, truck 2's ready. Truck 3." We've got a keyboard. I think it was like a Roland Go keys.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. It has like battery powered.
Sure.
We had an acoustic guitar, had some drums and percussion, and we had vocals like in each truck. And they were all divided up. And they're like, everybody tune your radio station in, and they started the track. And it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And everybody had the arrangement memorized. And in their separate trucks, recorded the song separately.
Oh man.
And then we went back and post. Now mind you, there's also somebody like in the front seat with the camera,
right? Shaking.
And there's Mateo, he's singing this song and he's like, you know, and it's, you can watch it. It's all the stuff from the recording. Wow. And it turned out good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, who else does that? You know, like
insane.
That's what we do. We kind of pride ourselves on being different and doing some ridiculous things.
Wow. So you put the music over the FM transmitter.
Yes, we put like the stems, like a track.
Stems.
And it wasn't like heavy stems either. It was very, very simple.
Okay.
I don't even know if there was really music in it. There might have been a guide in it. Because there was like music in every truck.
Yeah, yeah.
So they had to know the arrangement. They had to memorize that. And I mean, they did really well. I mean, I didn't go on the trip. So I'm back in Chattanooga like, I can't wait to hear this. Like, if it even happens.
Right,
you know?
right.
And yeah, so, and then each truck also had like a little road, like field recorder.
Got you.
So all their mics were plugged into that.
Okay.
So literally I had to just go back and post and just sync everything, which wasn't too difficult.
Right,
you know,
right.
Like when you got to, everybody was singing on the chorus, like, let's line that up. And,
yes.
but we actually multi-tracked everything, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Man.
And they didn't have room in the car, and they kept having, like, something was happening. They had to open the door on the truck. Well, it's 70 in the truck with the heat, and then you open the door, and it's like negative 70. So the guitar goes, you know? So he's like having to retune the guitar, and we ended up getting one of those like carbon fiber guitars, you know, because we're like, this might help, but up there it doesn't help. I mean, it's like, it's so hard to keep it in tune. So
that's insane.
They're like, he keeps retuning the guitar, and then we got a keyboard in the back of a truck, and there's somebody next to him with the microphone. And again, like, why do we do that? It's like, let's put worship in these really remote, ridiculous places. And I can't remember who said it, but there's a quote that says, missions exist because there are places where worship doesn't. Mm. Yeah. If worship was everywhere, you don't need missions, right? If they're worshiping in every village and in the corner of every place on the earth, if every people group was worshiping, you don't really.
Why would we go?
Right. Yeah. So kind of like part of the thing we do is, I guess maybe somewhat prophetic, where it's like, let's just go ahead and take worship everywhere. Let's that be the first thing that goes.
Yes.
And we've got some really cool stories. And we went to Togo last year and did a youth conference, and it connected us with a local village in Benin. It's called Ganvier, and they're on the lake, and they build stilt houses on the lake, and there's thousands of people that live out there. And we went, and one of the local chiefs was like, you want to build a church? Build it here. Plot of land, everything. That usually takes years in some of these really remote places.
Right.
But you can see like the power of worship and making that connection with people, even if it's surface level for them, if it's just, you know, just music and dancing. And boy, do they know how to dance in that part of West Africa, Togo, and Benin. And they had me going.
Oh, yeah.
And I sung in a few different languages, and we really made a connection with those people. We're going back this year. But you can see how powerful worship is as a tool when you use it to build relationships and to kind of make some headway in regions where it may take a lot longer.
And I love that. Yeah. I love that because you're speaking into people where you might have an excuse of, oh, I don't have this piece of gear. I don't have access to this. Y'all are saying, hey, we don't care. We're going to grab this cymbal from this, someone who's let us to borrow this. We have this battery powered Roland. You don't have to use the best gear in order to do what you're doing, you know? Like, I want you to speak into that a little more. And also, well, actually, yeah, you speak into that. I have another question too for you.
Okay, yeah. So there's something special about learning an instrument and equipment and kind of maximizing and optimizing those things and creating your own sound. And that's a big part of being a touring or like a session musician.
Oh, yeah. Like
the guys that I'm like, I hear stuff and I'm like, I love the way your guitar sounds. I will pay you to record. I don't need to know what's in I don't need to know anything. I just want that sound.
Yes.
So there's like value to that. I think sometimes where we get tripped up is we have a lot of opportunities that we miss if we demand that. Does that make sense? So like,
that's good, bro.
I think one of the cool things about Far Flung is we're just whatever.
Yeah.
Literally, like we have a tech writer that I send. Most people don't read it, you know, like unless they have like a professional there.
Sure.
And really, I mean, you show up, and I think in one sense, like the bar for us is so low, and it's always worked out, and it's always been fun, and God has always moved.
Come on.
So I have a hard time like people really convincing me. I like things done with excellence.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm an executive producer. Like I want things to be done right, but at the end of the day, like, what are you really trying to accomplish? Yeah. And what is really fulfilling? Look, I've done a lot of stuff in the music industry. A lot of the artists I said I wanted to work with, I've worked with them. A lot of things I wanted to do, I've done it.
Yeah.
And there's still things that I could accomplish in the industry, sure. None of those things, however, like, especially, man, I'm getting old. I'm 39, right? So it's like,
man. You're not as old as Tyler Richardson. He's 40.
I'll hold on to that. He's
in his 40s now.
But I think just after so many years of just watching God use just your openness and willingness to whatever, and seeing how special things can be if you're just open. What are we using? What is success, and what are we using to measure? And I think a lot of the things, especially nowadays with likes and views and everything, like there's a lot of false proxies to success.
Sure.
And it's like, you know what success looks like to me is...
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
A cat's just going to join us. All right.
What success looks like to me is, can you go someplace, completely take your ego out of it, join in with their culture, play whatever keyboard they're playing,
right,
honor them, make a connection with them, and let God work in that scenario.
Yes.
And if you can do that, like that's not easy.
Absolutely.
And I mentioned Togo, and you know, it's so funny. We went to Togo, and there's a youth conference. It was like 2,000 people there. It was big.
Yeah.
And we didn't really know what to expect. And we go to this conference, we go and we're like, oh, like this is, because again, we are in the jungle sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
We were just in Japan. The last service we did, I was in Japan. I got back on Sunday, just a few days ago. The last service we did, there was like 10 people there. And we're okay with that too.
It's all
so
good.
we've done the arenas. Right? We've done the mall on DC with however many, 100,000 people or whatever it was.
Sure.
We've done that. And 15 years, we're still 10 people. I had a Roland FP10 built-in speakers, and we played for like an hour.
Crazy, man.
With 10 people, and we tried to sing in Japanese, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
But that stuff is so valuable to me. Like that's the reward to me, even more so than those other false proxies I mentioned.
Yes.
The accolades or the attention or whatever it is that you get from working with whoever.
Yeah.
And when we went to Togo, it's so funny. We went and it was awesome, dude. It was one of my favorite experiences. We ended up going like viral in Togo. We were crossing over the border and people were stopping us at the border taking pictures because they recognized us from people sharing us on WhatsApp. Apparently there's big WhatsApp groups there and stuff.
Okay.
We were like on local TV or something, highlights like these Americans came. And one of the things that we did, we got there and we started seeing how they did worship. And I've done a lot of stuff in Africa, so I kind of knew. They do a lot of medleys. They'll go for 12, 15 minutes and sing 5 or 6 different song choruses. And
love that.
So we were kind of prepared to do that. And then when we got there, I was like, oh yeah, they're really doing it. They're going for 20 minutes.
Okay,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
we kind of called an audible when we got there. And like me being the director was like, all right, guys, look, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Forget this and this. We're going to double down on this.
Yeah.
And we're going to meet them where they are. Right. So let's just have some fun. So leading up to it, we had like a medley planned, and there was one that was like in Portuguese because they sing it in Mozambique. There was another one in another African language. I can't remember the name of the language now, or even the country it was from. And then in Togo, they speak Ewe. And I learned a song in Ewe. So we put it in this medley. So basically what I did is there's language barrier, right? So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go up and we're going to do like a tour of Africa. I'm just going to name countries because they'll probably recognize the names as I say them, even with the language barrier. Yeah. Then we'll sing in that language, right? Oh, wow. So we'll start with like America, and then we did South Africa, and we sung all around, because that was on the South Africa, Israel.
Yeah.
I live in South Africa. And then I was like, then we'll do Mozambique, and then we'll sing that song, then we'll, so we went through like this whole tour. So at the very end, I go like, what other country am I forgetting? And even with the language barrier, I'm like acting it out. Like, is there another country? Because I was going, how about Mozambique? How about this? How about this? And I'm like, what else? And they're like, Togo. I'm like, Togo? Like, you want to sing? They're like, you want me to sing? Hey, wait. They're like, ah. And so we break down and I start singing. I was like, Fufu maya oka, wejena boo boo. And we start singing and they go nuts. And then it breaks. It's one of the coolest songs I've ever heard. I can't remember what the translation is. And it's like, aye, 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 aye. And they're going nuts, dude. And we go for like 20 minutes. It was like one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Wow.
And afterwards, one of the local pastors in Togo came up to me and he's like, I want to be completely honest with you. And I was like, okay.
Uh-oh.
He was like, we were very worried about Americans coming to do worship.
Right.
He said, because we don't worship like Americans. And I was like, okay, I understand. And he goes like, what you just did. And I remember he's a big man, put his hands on my shoulder. He goes, what you just did is more impactful than you will ever know.
Oh, wow.
And sure enough, that after that, Jaylene, who's an incredible singer, Jaylene Bonilla, we did a song called Yahweh, and then she did it in their local language too. Wow. And when she started singing it, well, people were taking these videos, and then the next morning they're like, you guys are like famous in Togo, right? Which is cool, but talking about like the views and everybody sharing that and the pictures at the border, that's fine. That's like false proxy to me. Yep. I'm not going to measure that for success.
Yeah.
What I measured is one of the local leaders going like, we didn't really want you guys to come because most of the time it doesn't go over well and you don't get it. And what you guys did was so impactful, you'll never understand.
Man.
And really all we did was say, you know what? I understand you to the degree that I do. Yeah. I respect you to the degree that I do. And I'm not going to stand up here and try to force my culture or my ideas of worship on you. I'm just going to meet you where you're at.
Sure.
And it has all the makings of like making a deep connection with people.
Right.
You're willing to make yourself look a little silly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was saying everything right. They were like, no, it was good. And I'm like, I don't know. You're you're willing to humble yourself and just go, I'm going to try. These rhythms are a little different. And I thought the one song, I thought we nailed it.
Yeah.
So I go up to one of the other worship leaders. I was like, it was okay. He was like, you guys made it your own, And I was like, oh, I thought we exactly copied it, but okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. But that's like, man, if you're, I think I've traveled and just shout out to my dad for taking me on the mission field when I was like 9 or 10, however old I was, because it has put me in this place where it's like not only gear, but like methods and like beliefs and what works and what doesn't. I'm just like, it's so different. The body of Christ is so diverse.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't think it's worth arguing like over anything. I came back from Togo and I was like on Google, like Togo churches, Chattanooga. Nope, that's Togo trip. Like, where's the closest? Because I was
Where's
like, I crave that worship culture where they start, like, they don't even play to like a click and stems. They just start a loop. It's like, and that thing will ride for 20 minutes. And they'll just rock on it and go and like do modulations. And it's just like, it's incredible. And they're all like so talented. And we're going back this year, and I am so excited because now I think we're gonna even be more prepared this year.
Come on, you're like, I'm not just doing my own thing. We're gonna nail it and get the copy thing right this time, dude. That's an incredible story, and I think that's encouraging for people to hear, especially if any missionaries happen to be watching or listening to this, because I think what you said about many local leaders are fearful when Americans come in and do their missions work. Have you ever read that book that's like When Helping Hurts? Have you ever read that book?
I don't know if I've read it, but I am familiar with it.
That's a very popular book that's good because it's like there are a lot of mission trips that are 1 or 2 week mission trips where they have their own agenda and they don't. So talk about this.
So
man.
yes,
talk
a couple things. Again, to give honor to the director of our organization, Kyle Philippi, from the very beginning, it was, we're coming alongside people who are already doing work there.
Right.
And our goal is not to tell them what they need or what they should do.
Yeah.
It's to figure out what they say they need.
Yeah.
And to come along and support them in that. And to put the spotlight on them. And it's amazing how tempting it can be to go somewhere and go, hey, everything. You could do concrete better than that. Back in the States, you know what I mean? Like, that mixes this and that. And we, and I've seen it all. And I've seen the church service stuff. Yeah. I've been a part of some pretty bad mission trips because I've been on a lot. I don't know how many, but I've been on a lot to a couple dozen countries. And, we are so excited to find people who are already doing work somewhere and to come alongside them and say, how can we help you? Mm-hmm. What do you need? And sometimes that takes time.
Yeah.
So we're very relational. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 years to figure out what you're really doing in a region or what you're really doing partnering with the ministry. And then it clicks. Mm-hmm. And you go, that's why we're here. Mm-hmm. And whether it's cultural barriers, language barriers, whatever, building relationship over the long term, eventually you find those breakthroughs and you figure out how to work together, or you discover a new project or a new need together.
Sure.
And that's what we're really, really passionate about.
Man, I love that. I think that's crucial to hear, because I think a lot of times us music directors, producers, musicians can really get particular about our gear and our thing, our arrangement, our stems, our gear, even to the point that it's like becomes idolatry, and that we don't really have a heart of worship. It becomes very performative.
Well, and I'll tell you what's really cool about Far Flung too is everybody that plays with us also plays with somebody else.
Okay.
Or they play with people like where you have to play the record.
Right.
But then Far Flung, for me too, even as the director of Far Flung Worship, is like, this is a place where we can come and kind of like, we don't have to play by those rules.
Yeah.
And I think some guys, when they come play with Far Flung, they're like, hey, like, Jeremy, what do you want me to play? And I'm like, dude, express yourself.
I want to get on that because, listen, guys, Jeremy here has worked with Snarky Puppy.
Some good friends of mine. Yeah. So
we love some Snarky Puppy. If you're a musician that really plays, you're gonna know Snarky Puppy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, we could name drop a lot of people that you've worked with, and one of them being Clark Beckham, who's been on the podcast as well. Clark with an incredible voice. You've played and filled in and done stuff with Jason Crabb and just a lot of other people that we could. Andy Mineo, you said you've done a lot of stuff with Andy Mineo. Yeah. So listen, he has a resume here, but we're not here to talk about his resume, which is incredible. But we do love Snarky Puppy. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Michael League has probably had the most influence and has helped me the most in my career, more than anybody else probably. And it's such an organic, like, it's just one of those stories. I was on tour. A buddy of mine This was like back in the days where you were buying tracks on iTunes.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, we're on the tour bus, and he's like, hey, listen to this. And it just like was a recommended song, and I downloaded it. And he's like, just tell me what you think about this. And it was Slow Demon by Snarky Puppy. I'll tell your friends, like very early. And I remember putting those headphones on, and it was like the first time I ever heard music. And I was like, who is this? So he starts like telling me about him. I go and like download all their music.
Yeah.
And I want to say this was like 2011.
Wow, man.
Maybe somewhere around there. I mean, Tell Your Friends was, I mean, it was pretty fresh. People didn't know who Snarky Puppy was.
Right, exactly.
So I like find out they're coming within like 2 hours of Chattanooga. And I'm like, I'm going. So I drive, I think it was like Athens, Georgia or Athens, Tennessee, one of them. So I drive out and I'm like so pumped. And like I get there and pay like a $20 cover charge or whatever. And I'm like, I go in and I'm like, oh, I guess people are going to start filing in soon, you know?
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there was like 3 to 5 people in the audience that night.
Oh my goodness.
And I was one of them.
At a Snarky Puppy
Yeah,
concert.
I mean, dude, nobody knew who they were. And I still have the picture from that night. They played. I was absolutely blown away. The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, why is nobody here?
Yeah.
Well, fast forward about 2 years later, and you couldn't get into anything.
Right.
And afterwards, they just, you know, it's like if you go to a show now at a bar or restaurant, it's like they gotta take a break, get down, start talking to everybody. And come to find out, me and Michael Lee grew up like 5 minutes from each other. We start talking, me and Sput, Robert Seawright start talking. And I don't think Sean Martin was there, but Nate was there on percussion. And we're just all hanging out. And I think it was Sput that was like, what are you doing tomorrow night? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, we got a show here. Like, you should come. And I was like, I'll come. And he goes, let me give you my number. So I'm like, cool. So he gives me his number. And I go the next night. I show up, and Mike's like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm glad you came. I was like, yes, but, you know, hooked me up. He called me. He's like, yeah. He goes, well, take my number. And the rest is history.
Wow,
so
man.
They announced the recording in Brooklyn for Ground Up. And I called Mike, and I was like, I just want to be a part of it. Like, if I just come, I don't care, dude. I'll sweep whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
And I lived probably about from Washington, D.C. area. So I want to say a few hours from Brooklyn. I said, I'll come up there. So me and my buddy Phil got up at like 4 a.m. the morning of the first day of recording, drove up. And it was just us and Snarky Puppy in there. And what's really cool about that, so Spud ended up coming, and he knew I played drums. So he wanted to change the heads on the drum set. And they're like trying to start sound check, line check at least, you know.
Right.
And they got people coming in to sit. So we've already run all the headphones extensions for all the crowd and stuff. And Spud is like, dude, can you help with these drums? I'm like, sure. So I spent like the next hour changing all the drum heads, tuning the drums. Yeah, man. So the tuning on the record is like, that was all my
That's
work
all you.
on the
Come
kit.
on, bro. That's good. That's good.
I'll claim that. And yeah, we were there for that first night of recording. What's so crazy about that is that was like a big part, because that recording was kind of just in like an empty building. Mm-hmm. And I like got to see from beginning to end how they go in and set up these recordings, and ended up using a lot of that knowledge for Far-Flung.
Right.
And like, if they can do it in this is what buildings look like where we go. If I can find power,
sure.
Like, you can record anywhere. Apparently.
Anywhere. Yep.
And that was the thought I had, is like, if you can record here in this building in Brooklyn the way they're doing, you can record anywhere.
Sure.
So I kind of like,
love that.
They kind of showed me what was possible. And it was so funny, because for the next 10 years, I would work with people, and they're like, well, you know, we got to get in the studio. So I'm like, guys, no, you don't.
No, you don't, man.
Like, you really don't. And like, Snarky Puppy can prove that. If you're making good music,
sure,
like, you can do the best that you can. And there's so many examples of this. Like, there's people killing it, setting up their cell phones and playing their songs. Like, if they're good songs and stuff, like,
If they're good songs, that's it.
Yeah, like, you can do it. And you don't have to tie yourself to all that.
Sure.
Beyond that, Michael League also, after that, like, whether it was just being a mentor, I put him like on my resume for stuff, and people would be like, wait. You mean Michael League? Like, that's his phone number. Like, if we call Michael League, he's gonna say, I'm like, yeah. So it's so funny. Like, one day he called me and he helped me there was this big church that had like I think there was 400 volunteers in their music ministry, and they wanted to record, and everybody was telling them, we got to take your choir here, we got to do 3 different sessions, split this choir up, because they had one choir that was like 200 people. I basically came in and I was like, we can record everything in your building. And they were like, what? I was like, I'll set up, I'll prove it. So let's set up, put your band, let's get some band members, let's bring your choir in, I'll prove it. And they were like, okay. So we did like this little mock recording, and they were like, yeah, this could work, and all this. And so Michael League was on as a reference, and he ends up calling me like 2 days later. And he's like, hey, man, did you get that gig? I was like, oh, did they call you? He's like, oh, yeah, they called me. Like, it took me like 5 minutes to convince him it was actually me. But that's just the kind of person Michael League is.
That's incredible.
Will say like, yeah, come on. Yeah, you can help. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I'll trust you to tune these drums, and these things. And I did some drum tech stuff for Sput for a while. And Sput's a great guy too. All of them, man. That whole crew.
That's incredible.
Extremely humble. So yeah, Corey Henry was there. That was like the first time I ever heard of Corey Henry and Sean Martin, and then Bill Lawrence on the piano and stuff. Incredible. So yeah, it's just a really cool connection. It started with somebody who found a track, and then they were gracious enough to kind of like pull me in and let me be a part of some things. Man. And then in the long run, we're really good to me as well. So
that's incredible, man. Yeah, incredible music and incredible story. Credits to you on the drums, bro.
Well,
I mean that's credits to you for why they're so successful.
No, it's funny. It's like Sput. I remember he's told me this. I mean, I guess he wouldn't mind me saying this, but he's like, I'm not even a drummer. He plays keys. He's a killer keys player.
Man.
And I don't know if you know Ghost Note, which is like his band.
Oh yeah.
So like he's just like he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he had no problem just being like, dude, you're a drummer, you do it. Yeah. So actually that night, the first take of Quartermaster, which is kind of like the New Orleans like style song on that record.
Yeah.
He actually like in the middle of the recording was like, come here, and they didn't keep it in the first take, but he handed me drumsticks, and I was like on the floor time, like during there's like a breakdown with all this percussion and stuff. And, they didn't use it. I might have ruined the take. That might have been why. Yeah, I remember like texting Mike like, "Are you gonna use that first take?" He's like, "No, man, sorry." I was like, dang it.
It's like, all right, well, it was a fun experience.
That
lives in my brain.
That would have been cool, but yeah.
Amazing, man. Well, okay, so you've done stuff with Far Flung, and you still are. You've done things with Snarky Puppy, and then now let's take it present day. And I hope people are getting inspired by this. If you know Jeremy, let us know. And if you're watching on YouTube, say hey to this guy. He's awesome. If you're a missionary, let us know too where you are. If you're maybe doing music ministry somewhere in a remote place, and you happen to have a device with Wi-Fi and you got a hold of this episode, let us know if anything is encouraging along this episode right now. I know it's encouraging me, and I know a lot of missionaries wouldn't be encouraged by this, and a lot of worship leaders and even pastors at churches in America need to understand the heart behind missions before we go. Like, are we really going to spread the gospel and be beneficial in this context to these people? Or are we doing it with our own agenda, really being selfish? And I think that's really an important thing we need to come to terms with. Okay, but take us to, now you've been connected with Joe L. Barnes, which love him. He was with Maverick City for a while. He's been on his own for a little bit now, and I know me and my wife, we did one of his songs, Promises, at our wedding. Yeah. Great is your faithfulness to me.
I mean, the song of a generation, if we're honest.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's incredible.
It is so great, and I love his voice, and I love his writing, and then I've been able to experience him lead in a room a few times, and you've been leading with him recently. Tell everyone about some of the writing you've been doing, the production you've been doing, specifically with Joel Barnes, and some things that you guys have out. Actually, it's probably released right now by the time we release this episode. Tell us all about this, man.
So, to jump ahead, we recorded a song with Joel called Easy. I wrote the song and arranged it, And
which, by the way, y'all need to go listen to this song. If we could, we'd just pause it and let y'all listen to it. We're going to link it here in the description in the show notes. So definitely listen to it. You did great on that. You played it before we got recording here. The hits were tight. The sound design is amazing. The video, everything from start to finish is incredible. So keep going. I want you to talk about production later. But
there's an amazing team behind it, and just incredibly talented people. And I want to say it was 40 some odd people that came together. Most of them, I would say, besides about 5, all volunteer.
It's incredible, man.
Really, really incredible. But so the connection with Joel started. I have a buddy named Elliot Baker that did something with Joel. I think he was at remember when Israel Houghton did the stuff in the living room?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he was there. I think Joel was there.
Okay.
And I saw it. And I was like, hey man, Joel really seems I'm really attracted to people that I think share values.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Not just talented or not just can get you attention, but
Absolutely.
Does this person believe and feel the same way about things
Absolutely.
that we do? And I just got that vibe from Joel from a distance. So I ended up contacting Elliot. Was like, hey, man, if you feel comfortable, would you mind connecting us? He's like, yeah, no problem. So that was 3 years ago. So it's there was that connection. Shout out Jessica Height. I was at one of her song share retreats. And Dexter was there, who MDs for Joel. I told him, I was like, hey, man, I tried to connect with him. He FaceTimed while we were there. And Joe was like, yeah, man, I saw the emails. And I said, look, man, we do music for missions. I mean, we're talented and all that stuff, but I think it'd be really great. I'm trying to use some of my industry experience to pull people in, to pull artists that will help us just get more attention on the work that we're doing in our nonprofit. And he said, yeah, I'm in. Just like that. Never met me.
Amazing.
Hadn't heard a song. Hadn't, so I'm like, incredible. Okay. So a lot of time went by, and there was a lot of things that happened, personal things in both of our lives. And, you kind of, the way life goes.
Sure.
And then Marlon. Intern Marlon, who I've known for a long time. I love Marlon.
He's such a great personality.
I know, he's just so funny.
So fun.
He's so talented.
He's a fun guy.
I love Marlon a lot. And he playing with Joel. So I said, dude, look, I've talked to him through 2 people. I just want to reconnect with them. And we actually sent this song. We were actually getting ready to go out of the country somewhere. And the night before we left, we stopped at some church. I want to say it was in Georgia. We did a worship service. And this guy gets up for offering. I wasn't the pastor. We can't figure out what church this was at. We can't figure out who it was. But the guy basically gets up and he starts talking about the miracles that God can do. Right? And he makes this statement just in passing. He's like, I'm not even really talking about the healings and all of those things. He says, that's easy. What I'm talking about is the character, how he has to perfect our character and that the sanctification. He's like, that's the miracle. When we can become new.
Yeah.
But I just, when he said the healings and stuff, that's easy. I never heard anybody say that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But when you read the Gospels, that's the impression you get. He's like, all right, peace. That's oh, it's done, Yeah. And so I pulled out my phone and I just wrote in a note, healings, ... That's easy. Put it away.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long later, if you're a writer, you just pull my phone out one day and I'm like, oh yeah.
I remember that.
There's that little snippet. Maybe I can use that. And I sat down. My favorite chord progression in the world is the 4-1.
Come on.
Just the 2. That's it. That's so I started playing 4, mixed up, playing 4-3. And I just kind of started going back and forth. And I was thinking, how could you sing? And I was like, healing, that's easy. Saving even, that's easy. Freeing people, that's easy. All of those things. So I started saying, then I was a worship leader, at the time, actually leading worship every week. And I remember feeling the pressure to sing people into their breakthrough. And we do a lot of charismatic Pentecostal songs. Right. I was leading 30 minutes of altar songs just flowing back to back. And you're trying, what's the killer song that's gonna, and you kind of
sometimes 2, 3, 4 altar calls. If you didn't come the second or third time, you better come the fourth.
Right. So I just remember feeling that pressure. And I thought, you know what I want to say in this song? I'm going to say, I can't heal you.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's easy for Jesus.
Come on,
And
yeah.
I can't save you. And I'm like, just going to take the pressure off myself.
Yes.
Even if I'm singing this in a service.
Sure, sure.
So it's kind of like maybe even had a hint of like selfishness to it. It was like, I'm just going to let y'all know this is not on me.
Right,
you know,
right,
like,
right,
I'm going
right,
to remind all of us, including myself.
Yes.
I can't save you. I can't free you. I can't heal you. But Jesus, that's easy for him.
Yes, yeah.
And I feel like that's such a cool reframe for people.
Totally.
Just to remember like that. And then the second part that came out of that is this mountain, you don't need me to climb it because you'll move it. And this giant, you don't need me to fight it. You'll do it. And this valley, I won't fear it because you're with me, and that's easy.
Come on.
So as I was writing the song, every time I said that's easy, I was playing just 4/3 the whole time. And then one time I went to the 1 because it resolves. So it's like all of that tension of the mountain and the giant and the valley. But for Jesus, that's
easy.
And you hit that 1 and it's kind of like you feel it. And then there's a little motif that da-da, da-da. And how I came up with that was because I'm corny and weird. I was just like, what's something, just a little like melodic thing I could put in.
Yeah.
And I'm going, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, you're doing all that. And I'm like, no, it's too complicated. It needs to be easy.
Come on.
And then I said, easy. That's how I came up with that.
Man.
That melodic motif. I wanted something simple, and then it kind of follows the natural tone of the word easy. I think it's a 3/2, if I'm not mistaken, is the melody. And
It'd been funny if you wrote it in the key of C instead of B flat, because you do it on D C. But what if it started on E for easy? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm being goofy
I think
now.
I actually tried. I think during the writing process, I tried EC.
Okay.
Because I'm, you know, again, when you've written, dude, I started out writing hip hop songs when I was in like middle school.
Okay.
I've
you
written
talk about Andy Mineo.
thousands of lines of songs, you know, like hundreds of songs. Like
This
not
guy
exaggerating.
started producing on a PlayStation, by the way.
Well, we can come back
That's
to
crazy.
that if we have
Okay,
time.
If we have time. Yeah, keep going.
But so yeah, that's how that little melodic motif came about. Was just saying the word easy and doing that, and it's kind of cool. I think it's different, you know, right from the beginning. It kind of adds this, and before the beat comes in, you can't really tell where the 1 is at, and I like kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, man, I love that.
So, but yeah, I had those 2 sections, which is kind of like a verse 1, verse 2, or chorus 1, chorus 2. It's not really like a verse chorus vibe, you know.
Sure.
And played it at a church one time, and like at one of our services, and like just at an altar call, just like, oh, you know, Kyle was like, hey, sing that. And I was like, okay. And people like lined up at the stage and we're like, I can't find that song. What song was that? I'm searching for and I'm like, oh no, we haven't. I just like a little piece of a song. We haven't recorded it. Then we played it somewhere else. Same thing. And we were like, I've never seen people react to like a song like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I liked it, but I just, you know, it was like half a song to me. Yeah, it was like half a song. So I was like, I don't know. And then a pastor friend of mine, shout out Josh Geiselman, was at a pastor's conference, and he had asked me, like word kind of got out about the song and the prayer services, and he had asked me for like a demo. A demo I had was just basically those 2 sections, like copied and pasted.
Yeah.
You know, like just piano, just repeated, and then it ended probably abruptly. And I sent it to him, and he went to a pastor's conference, and there's like 1,000 pastors there or something. And he's like, do you mind if I play it? I'm like at this altar call right now. Can I play this song at this pastor's conference? And I'm like, sure. And I'm like, oh, it's terrible. I mean, you know, it's like the 9 a.m. demo vocals, you know. And I'm like, dude, I guess. And then he ends up calling me later. He's like, dude, we looped it for an hour. Oh, wow. Like, and he was basically saying that what it was doing for those pastors is what it did for me. It's really took that burden off to say, all the hard stuff is up to him.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? I can help you with some things. I can't do all of that stuff. I can't move mountains for you.
Totally.
But he can.
He can.
And I think for those pastors, it was kind of like this. Yeah, that's not my burden to carry.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not my thing. So
totally, man.
we kind of knew
Powerful.
like this song was special to people, and the reaction was different. And so we kind of settled on it. And I said, well, I want to like do this right.
Yeah.
I don't want to just take something, don't want to throw your pearls to swine type thing. This seems like really valuable. Let's like steward this the best we can.
Yeah.
And when we got in touch with Marlon, come back around to that.
Okay, come on, Marlon.
I think it was me or Kyle, somebody sent Marlon the song and said, like, if you're with Joel sometime, or do you think that, it might have been as innocent as like, do you think Joel would be interested in this song? You play with them all the time.
Right.
And I think when we sent the song, I think Kyle did it because I was not there for the reaction, which I wish I would have been. It would have been cool. Sends the song to Marlon. Marlon is backstage with Joel at the time. Marlon turns the song on, starts playing it. And from what I heard, Joel was like, who wrote this? What is this? So he FaceTimes Kyle. And apparently he's like, hey, Kyle, look who I'm with. And it's Joel. And Kyle's like, Joel's like, did you write this song? He said, no, Jeremy wrote this song. And he was like, dude, this song like comes from a special place or something like that, I think Joel said.
Yeah.
And so he was like, dude, I would love to be a part of this song. So Kyle calls me. He's like, dude, Joel is in. He loves the song. I was like,
man.
Which is super humbling, you know what I mean? Because, you don't know. If you're like a songwriter, I'm a great songwriter. I never know if I write something great. You know what I mean? Like nobody really knows. Like,
you don't really.
You kind of you need that feedback. That's why writers camps and stuff like are so valuable. And
Totally.
So yeah, that was kind of like the catalyst to really get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And then I got on about an hour and a half call with Joel, and dude, we ended up talking about everything except the recording, and just really like. Could tell that there's a lot of shared values, and just had a great conversation. And I'll just say this, I'll say this publicly because I think it's the right thing to do, and it's honoring. Joel came, gave us 2.5 days, almost 3 days, recorded, did a service with us, and didn't take a dime.
Are you serious?
Not only did Joel come and say, I just want to do this because I believe in missions and I believe in your organization. I'll take it a step further. He not only did he do that, but as an artist, as a part of this song, he is due a portion of the revenue from the song. Absolutely. And he's also forfeited that.
Wow.
That's information that I really want to share just to honor the sacrifice that he made.
Yeah.
We didn't have to write him a check to get him to come out here. He said yes. Because of the heart that he has.
Wow, man.
And I am forever indebted to him because I know what it's going to do for the organization. And I know what it's going to do for missions. Yeah. Joel affects culture.
Yeah.
Very few artists. I think it's 0.2% of all songs that are put out are deemed culturally relevant. I think that was a study that, was it Luminary or whatever did the study this past year. Like 88% of songs aren't even listened to. It's like less than 10 streams a year or something like that. There's 100,000 songs a day that are uploaded to DSPs. Like, to get somebody of the relevance of Joel that still has the heart. I ask a lot of artists to do what Joel did. And a lot of them said either no or maybe later, and maybe they'll come back around. Maybe they had good reasons not to. No judgment on those people. Joel said yes. And man, just being around him, most of our conversations were about the GOAT debate in the NBA. Man, just got to share some meals with him and got to know him a little bit. And man, it's so refreshing. So refreshing to really find somebody who has a heart that extends beyond just the talent and the entertainment and the industry.
Totally.
And that was so refreshing. And he blessed our team. And that night, we got together to record a song, and we ended up capturing such a special moment. The last take went for an hour and a half. And
goodness.
I mean, you're talking about difficulty, like trying to decide what we were going to put in the recording or not, you know?
Right.
So we cut the song at like 9 minutes, and then we're going to release another 15 minutes, like a Selah flow track. But man, and they told us that it was marking for them and that it was like a special weekend for them, and that means so much to us as well.
That's incredible, man.
I think it is a special song. And it led to a special moment. And it was so funny because after the recording, we sat around for like a month, our team in our offices, and we're like, I keep forgetting that we're going to release a song because it felt so complete that night.
Yeah.
It really felt like it was about that night, like God ordained this special night for not only our organization, but the students that were there. Shout out to Lee University, gave us the gym for free.
Amazing.
Let us borrow equipment for free. We had churches that gave us equipment for free. I got to shout out some of the team members here in a second. You want to talk about the production side?
Yeah, let's
we
do
can.
it.
But like, there were so many people, including Dr. Cook and Lee University and nearby churches and organizations that pitched in to make it possible. And you ask about production cost and is it worth it? Shouldn't you just buy people rice and be done with it? And I think there's a scenario where maybe that is true, but that was not true for this. This was volunteers, everybody buying in. We even had we have Nico Barboza, who plays with Luis Fonsi, and he played at like the Latin Grammys. I mean, he's like one of the best musicians in the world.
Incredible.
And he came for nothing.
My goodness.
Came from Nashville, came for nothing to play on this record. Nate Claggett, who MD'd, rehearsals, everything, like the pre-production tracks, MD'd
crazy.
For nothing.
That's crazy.
And all these guys, and we can talk about production if you have specific questions, but from Joel to whoever else that was involved, I mean, people came together to do something special, and it was special. It was a special night, and we captured a special recording, and I'm incredibly grateful to so many people.
Praise God, man. Well, it is a powerful song. It really is. I remember when we just listened to it before this, I was like, this is insane. And musically speaking, the arrangement, the hits on the and of two or and of three when they just the subtle little stuff. I don't know if you did that, someone else did that.
No, so I did it the
great.
way. So in the recording you hear when it kind of switches and it goes to 4 and then the 5/4 and then the 3 and there's like a minor 6, minor 5 type thing.
Yeah, that's fun.
That came when I was doing the demo that I thought I might send to Joel.
Okay.
So none of that was even part of the song. There was no bridge.
Right, okay.
So I was sitting down, I was like, I gotta write something else. Or I thought, you know what, maybe I send it the way it is and leave room for him because he's an incredible writer.
Sure.
But when I was sitting down there kind of like tuning the demo in and dialing everything in, I kind of went to that and I was like, I want to do some chord changes. I want to do something a little different. And I started singing that no more stressing, no more striving because your burden is light. I remember the moment that I was writing. And I was like, I need to put something in here. I was like, I really want to say, like, I despise striving culture. I just despise, because it almost killed me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
And like the stressing and the anxiety that we can attach to ministries, like I cannot stand it. So I was like, let's say this song does take off. I want to inject that directly into those cultures, and and that will be my protest. You know, I don't need to get on Facebook and yell at anybody. I don't need to, like my protest will be this song, like in a worshipful way. And so I said, I want to do no more stressing and no more striving. That's what I want to put. So I like typed that in, and I'm like, and then like I have this easy theme, and I was like, what is there justification to say that, doing ministry, you can use the word easy? Like, can you even? And I was like, my burden is light and my yoke. And I was like, it's easy. I was like, man. I almost felt like the whole song was justified in that moment.
Yeah, it's complete now.
Oh, no. I was like, I remember that moment, and I was like, no more stressing, no more striving, because your burden is light and your yoke is so easy. And I was like, that's it. That's the bridge.
That's it.
So I like put it down, and I'm like, I'm big on, I really like when the band follows the melody of the song.
Yeah. Especially when the bass goes with it. Because you're a bassist.
Yes, and I always yell at Nate, who's a much better bassist. He's our bassist.
Okay.
Nate Claggett. I'm like, I'll turn him, I'm like, do that melody. He knows what I like.
When the bass goes to the melody,
So that's one of my favorite things, in music. And so in the demo, I was like, and I was like, oh, this got some bump to it. Mm-hmm. So I started doing and I was like, okay, this is cool. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I was like, there's a lot here. So I did all of that arrangement.
I love it.
I think the only thing the band changed is there's a one chord before it starts all of that when you get to the bridge. It's like a 5/1 or something, and that was the band's idea. Because I went to like the minor 5 or something. And they're like, no, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
Don't do it yet.
I was like, okay, what do y'all want to do? So we did that, and of course they came and made it so much better. But yeah, it's got some bump to it. It's got some a little bit of funk to it.
Yeah,
it's got,
it starts to really go, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then Joel, he starts flowing at the end.
Yeah, bro.
And it's...
Well, I love how it starts off, and you're in the lower register, right? And then he comes in up the octave.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. I have no business singing with Joel. Okay, it's like at least that's how I feel.
Bro, you sound great.
No, but I'm not like us. I'm a guy that can sing.
Yeah.
I'm not a singer. Okay, I'm a guy that plays the bass. I'm not a bassist. Does that make sense? People, your audience knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I think I'm a drummer. I think that's like it. I always tell people, they're like, well, what's your best one? I was like, if I had to impress somebody, I think I have the best chance on the drums because I got some chops. That's about it.
Well, Snarky Puppy didn't think so. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that take one. They didn't. No, but so yeah, I was like, I wanna get into this thing.
Yeah.
And I want to do something like a little different and have some fun on the back end of the arrangement.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, all of the guys that played on the record, Dante, Bryant, Jake, I'm going to miss somebody, I know it, Rob, my buddy Ramar Bromfield on the keys, who else was there? I know I'm forgetting somebody. Nico, I already talked about, Seth, Dennis, who played organ with us. I mean, all
gotta
of
have
us,
the organ, man.
Dude, he's killer.
Gotta have the organ.
Seth is killer, and man, it was such a beautiful night, man. A lot of those, some of them we played together. Some of the guys like Jake Tipton, I think he even played with Joel, like in the Eddie James days.
Okay, come on.
And my buddy Kyle Jagier had been around and maybe played some, and yeah, so it's like there was some like reunion stuff happening because Joel lived in Cleveland, Tennessee for a while, and
cool, man.
Yeah, it ended up just being a beautiful night with all of those musicians. Just
I love it. And the video, and it's out now by the time this episode's released, the whole video's out, so we'll link that. Hopefully I'll remember to link that as well so you guys can see the beautiful video. I know a lot of people did volunteer, but you had incredible team that made it happen with the recording and the lighting. Talk about the softbox, because there are a lot of music directors and tech people that watch this podcast or listen to this podcast. They're always wondering about how can we make a great worship night and like document it. And the big thing is having a softbox. Like we have a softbox above us right here to kind of give some light, but like think about a gym. And when you see those big videos from like Elevation and Bethel, they have these huge budgets to put the softbox above them in a certain way, or like a upside down trampoline thing or whatever, like a circular. And a lot of it is like expensive trussing that you have to. So tell us, how did y'all make this You said you made a softbox for the gym?
Yeah, I didn't make it.
Okay.
All the credit goes to the Jagier family, led by Kyle Jagier, my buddy. What happened was we went to the gym to scout it. We're like, all right, there's a lot of challenges. The lighting stinks. The acoustics stink.
Right.
But it looks cool, you know? So it's like... we're like, like we'll lean into the 70s look, the burgundy and some of the patina of everything. Like, But we had some things to figure out. So Kyle Jagier was with us, and Stephen Kawakami directed the video. And I'm going to shout these people out because they volunteered.
Come on.
And these guys Stephen has done stuff with me with Andy Mineo, top-notch people. Wow. I mean, he worked at Free Chapel. I mean, he's one of the best video guys on the planet as far as I'm concerned.
It's incredible.
Shot, edit, everything.
It looks fantastic.
Completely.
It's unreal.
It's Stephen Kawakami. So we're in there with Stephen, who directed the video, and Chris Carneal, who was the audio engineer. And Chris Carneal's been doing some audio engineering for Farflung. I kind of like passed it on to him because he's much better at it than I am. He's like not only extremely talented guitarist, but he's also probably the smartest audio technical person I've ever met. So me, Steven, Chris and my buddy Kyle Jagir go over to scout the location. Steven looks up and he's like, dude, I don't know how we're going to do lighting. Like, we're going to need a giant softbox or several. He goes, we're going to have to figure that out. We're already starting with a nonprofit budget.
Right.
So we're like, we'll figure it out. Everything is just, we'll figure it out. That's how we do it in Far Flung. Mm-hmm. We'll figure it out. Well, while we're standing there, my buddy Kyle Jagir goes, what do you need? And he's like, I'd love to have like 3 softboxes, like pretty big. He's like, how big? And he's like, I don't know. So we start like measuring out and looking. Steven's like, I mean, if I wanted to fill this space, which I'd really like to do, we'd need 3 12 by 12, that's feet, like softboxes. And he goes, okay. And he goes, can those be made? And Steven's like, I mean, I guess, like, you know, so what would you need? Well, it turns out Kyle's mother is a master seamstress.
Oh.
So we go through all of these like iterations and thoughts. And is this possible? Can we make it? What are we going to use? Are we going to use aluminum? Are we going to use dowel rods? Are we going to use, like, how can it not look junky? Is that possible? If it does look junky, but it's functional, fine.
Right,
but like, you know, whatever. But
yes.
So he starts working on it. He goes to the store, gets some PVC, sends some measurements to his mom. She buys like muslin or whatever it is that the video guys will know, one of the fabrics that diffuses light, and then buys some black fabric around the outer edge and makes like a 2 foot by 2 foot model. Brings it over the office and he goes, all right, this is like a 1/6 or whatever scale model, 1/12, whatever. He's like, I think it'll work. I'm like, okay, so how do we mount it? And he's like, well, there's beams there. So Chris comes over and he looks at it and he's like, well, the beams do run this way. We could do this. And I'm like, you guys got it? And they're like, I think so. So we just buy all the PVC. We buy a ton of fabric.
Right.
He sends the measurement to his mom who lives in Florida. She does all the seams. He cuts all the PVC. We make these giant boxes outside because they're the size of this room. You know?
I love it. Yeah.
And we end up making it. And we take it to the gym probably less than 24 hours before Joel is showing up. And we're like, hope this works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, they killed it. I mean, if you look at them in the video, it's like that not only were they functional, but like in the pictures, there's some like wide angle lenses from the night. Some pictures we got in the video. They're like a main feature.
Oh, yeah.
And actually like, it made it feel like a production.
Absolutely. It felt big.
It felt massive.
Yeah,
it felt massive. And it was the talk of the weekend. We filmed it like a Monday or Tuesday, but it was like the talk of the recording is like these massive 12 by 12 softboxes that looked great, were completely functional. And
I thought maybe that was a rental or something, but y'all literally made that. That's PVC. That's incredible.
PVC and somebody who's very good on a sewing machine.
Come on now.
Very good.
That's incredible. And you can see that shot, I think, from the opening shot of the video, if y'all keep that same edit.
Yeah.
From the basketball goal. Like through the glass, you can see the whole... The color grading is great. And the spots, I mean, y'all had different other lights around too. It's like maybe some Pro Mist filters on the lenses and that kind of like bloomy.
Yeah, and they did some of all that technical stuff. Beautiful. We can, we'll have to do some sort of like video explaining that.
Right,
maybe.
You need to,
But because that's definitely Steven and his guys. And what was so cool is a lot of the guys he handled that he hired as shooters were also they're like the best video guys in our area.
Incredible, man.
So it was really, really cool. I will say this to what we said earlier. One of the things, like me and Steven and Chris, because we're producers and we are kind of tech guys and we know what we're capable of,
right.
have always said like, man, it would be great to do a recording with Far Flung that wasn't powered by a boat motor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
That wasn't like on an FM transmitter on trucks on the ice road. And we got that opportunity to say like, the overall production was less than 10 grand, which will blow people's minds.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been a part of $100,000 recordings like that, so like,
sure.
But that's volunteers, that's Lee University offering space and equipment, that's local churches offering equipment, that's the lead the director of the video, the audio engineer doing it for free. They were there for days.
That's insane.
Because
they love it. They believe in the mission.
Yeah.
They love it.
Oh, yeah.
I want this to be inspiring to people.
Well, and that's the thing. That a lot of times in creative industry, whether it's music or whatever other art form, I think I figured this out probably about a decade ago when I started getting a lot of the names and the success, and people's like, oh, that guy works with this guy. And
right, of course.
You know, and you start, you know, like we're not like famous, but we were in Japan. We were at the airport and this guy walks up and he's like, do you guys do like worship music? And he's like, I recognize you guys. So it's like, we've been doing it for a long time. We've been all over the world. We've been to a lot of big conferences and the Ramp and the Winterfest and the, you know, so it's like, there is a little bit of name recognition because we have a really weird name too. So like, it's like starting to experience that and then working with those artists and getting in those rooms. And then it's like, I'm not, obviously not Justin Bieber or somebody like that. That's like the top of the, but I got what I think considered high for myself in the industry and kind of got there and was just like, huh, this is it.
It's where we're here. Okay.
But parallel with that, I was doing Far Flung.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when I was leaving an arena and there was 20,000 people there and I played the keys. But at the same time, when I was doing that, like in parallel, I was doing Far Flung, right? And I started to realize like, okay, when I leave, I played keyboard in front of like 20,000 people one time. Bucket list, right? Who doesn't want to play in an arena?
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the things. And I remember going to my hotel room that night and I was like looking at the pictures and then it was just like, poof. It wasn't depression. It was just like, oh, everybody's at Waffle House right now and doesn't care. Everybody's already forgotten. I mean, seriously. Like, what did I really do? And like when I grew up like playing in clubs, like close, low ceiling, like bumping, everybody's on amps. And like when you're in an arena, you got ears on and you're 50 feet from anybody. And you can't see them because the lights are so bright. It's kind of lonely. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Like, and I remember going, okay, that's cool. It was a bucket list thing. And I did it. But like the vanity of that wears off. And what I found out is I would do that, and then 2 weeks later, I would be in a village in Mozambique with 30 people, and I would lay down at night, and my heart would be full. So there was this tension for about a decade.
Wow.
Where I was like, this, like, the lights and the arenas and the mall in D.C. and the names of the conferences and the churches everybody knows, that's supposed to be it. But thank God that while that was happening, he offered me the opportunity to see the other.
Yeah.
Where I could go, no, like, and I think partially the reason that the arenas and things weren't fulfilling is because I knew, nah, when you're in Honduras and those kids are literally beating on turtle shells and they're screaming praise at the top of their lungs and the singing is so loud on the dirt floor and the mosquitoes are all over and the ocean's over here and it's open and they're literally playing turtle shells and there's no electricity. And you lay down at night and go, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to Far Flung. I'm grateful to Kyle. I'm grateful to God that I've had friends like drive themselves into the ground. And I probably would have been one of those people if it had not been for those experiences. in those jungles or in those villages or wherever it was, because if there's anybody listening and there's so much value to experiencing, let's keep it about worship. There's so much value to experiencing worship in different cultures.
Come on.
And not like experiencing American or westernized worship in that culture, but experiencing the worship that has organically come out of that culture on its own without the influence of the pomp and circumstance sometimes that we do.
Yeah.
There's so much value in that. And I think that sometimes because we're so immersed in our own culture, sometimes forever, sometimes people never have those experiences. You begin to think that worship is the things that we do here.
Yep. Yeah.
But then when you're forced to reconcile that in a tent city in Haiti after the earthquake, and there's people gathering to worship.
My goodness.
And there's nothing.
Right.
There's not even a rolling go keys. You know what I mean? There's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the worship is pure and it's powerful.
My gosh.
And it gives you life.
Yeah.
And when you witness that all over the world, when you see it in Thailand, when you see it in Mozambique, when you see it in Ecuador, when you see it in Guatemala, when you see it in Japan, it's not even like an underdeveloped country.
Right.
They're doing just fine. They eat good. You know what I mean? But you even go to their like modern buildings, beautiful buildings with equipment, and you go in there and you see, oh wait, like this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's not mess this up when we come here.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm just so grateful that I've got to not only experience it, but that we take people now and they get to experience it. And they get to see like the grind that you're on, right? That Sunday grind, that thing that you're doing. Like, okay, but let's step outside of that and see what's possible. And man, just watching people experience that and going like, wow.
I love that.
Like this, how beautiful is this? And I wish and I hope and pray that everybody would experience far-flung worship. And I don't mean the artist.
Yeah.
I don't mean us. I mean worship in places they've never experienced worship at before, because context matters. Right?
Yes.
Location,
100%.
location, right?
100%.
Like that matters.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes a physical distance to really, really discover what worship can be.
Come on.
And again, I'm not like throwing stones.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like sometimes you get caught up in your culture.
Sure.
And you start to think that your culture is sacred.
Yeah.
And it's maybe what you think is sacred is just your tradition. And man, you can really, really believe that when you're in it.
That's good.
For so long. You know what I mean? Sometimes just removing yourself and experiencing it with other people in a different way is life-changing, really.
I'm so glad you said that. And going back to Joel Barnes and him being in the U.S., doing what he's doing and collaborating, where I saw him last was at Vessel Conference in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And it was incredible. Bilingual conference, mostly Hispanic community, and just such incredible, even just within the States, there's so many different pockets of culture going on, and I appreciate that. I appreciate leaders like Joel Barnes, who could have chosen or could still be choosing a different way to more fame, to more deals, to greater success. That's choosing to say, hey, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not the 20,000 people arena. If so, great. If not, the 20-person church down the road, or small conference,
Yeah, and again, I don't know if that would have been my natural inclination, but the leader of our organization, if somebody asks us to come to a conference, people have asked us, brother, come to Pakistan. We have 200,000 people. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
What they don't know is if they said, which we've been to Pakistan before and they're great, the connections there and everything, but that's not why we went. Mm-hmm. When we got asked to go to Togo, they're like, there's going to be 2,000 people. It's going to be a big conference. And he said, I will go if we do day 1 conference, day 2 conference, day 3, I need to be in a village somewhere. And that was the bargain.
Okay.
We'll come.
Wow.
To your conference, but you have to put us in a village somewhere. And that's when we went to Ganvie, the floating village. And now we're building a church and going back and dedicating it this year.
Wow,
but
man.
that's the heart of Far Flung. Mm-hmm. We want to connect with the body of Christ.
Yeah, I love that. That's
and most of the time that looks like relationship. Not just attention and platform.
Totally.
So that really is our heart. And it really, when you travel and, you have some name recognition or you've done some cool things or you have it, it's very humbling when you end up sleeping on the floor for 3 days.
Totally.
Or you end up sleeping on a boat or all of these things but man, it's so healthy. I think it's just spiritually, mentally, physically, socially,
you're right,
all of the different things. I think that's what's so unique about Far Flung is that you're forced to stay grounded, literally, and humble, and that's really cool.
Man, let's wrap up the episode. Is there anything we haven't covered that you wanted to say? Man, this has been incredible for real.
I think the only thing we said we would come back to was the PlayStation thing, but
we don't have to say it, but it's neat. It is neat.
How about the 10-second version?
Okay, let's do it.
PlayStation had a game called MTV Music Generator. The first beats I produced were on that.
What year was this, by the way?
Oh, brother.
Because I grew up playing PlayStation, man. I like PlayStation.
I don't know, 1999?
Okay.
Sure, let's go with that. Something like that. And what I would do is I would take the audio out into my stereo I had in my room.
Okay.
And I would put a tape in it. And I would play my PlayStation beat and press record on the tape. And I would take that tape to the church and put it in the tape deck of my church and take a microphone.
And you're doing overdubs.
And I would record the beat and my overdub on the tape. Now, here's the good part about that. I would do those, and then after my song or after another song, I would put my song. And I would listen to the radio and put other songs from the radio and record them.
Oh, man.
Then I would go to school and sell the tapes for $2.
Hey, man. Okay.
Oh, I mean, that was middle school.
Job well done, man.
Woof.
Job well done,
that was middle school. Yeah, I mean, we're talking 90s, late.
That was good, man.
Yeah, we're talking 98, 99,
That's crazy,
probably.
Bro.
And yeah, I would, for $1.50, I could get a very fine juice and an iced honey bun.
There you go, man.
So I lived off that.
That's a good life.
Yeah,
man. I could see I could see it, man.
Yeah, there's MTV Music Generator and a boombox, and I would make little mixtapes and sell them, and that's how it started. I made more money off that than I make off of streaming. I'll tell you that right now. I could sell 40, 50 tapes pretty quick.
We could just go back, man. Come on, bring us back 20, 30 years ago.
Because I was stealing the tapes from the church, I had no overhead.
Oh, my gosh. Take that pro tip.
No, don't take that tip.
No.
Gosh,
man.
No, that's the quick version of that. But
insane.
that's how I started.
That's amazing.
Making music.
I think the whole theme of this episode is how it goes back to your song "Easy." How easy it is, for one, when you're connected to the Lord, and He just takes it. It's not that pressure to perform, to do, to keep up. God's got it. It's easy. When you're doing, life isn't easy, but when you give it to Jesus, He will transform it and help us reconcile the mess that we are sometimes in a lot of different situations, a lot of different, even on the platform, right? And so I think this is encouraging to a lot of people, Jeremy. Thank you for sharing your heart on this. And it was a much needed conversation on missions, but also keeping our heart right for what worship truly is.
Yeah.
and in different contexts, different culture. And I pray, I know I've been encouraged by your stories, man. And just, it's incredible. I mean, I've been to a few countries. I know you've been all over, man. And it's just, the more you see other cultures, I think that the empathy grows, and you're less opinionated, less hard-headed.
And they teach you that you don't have to be of a certain skill. You don't have to have certain equipment. You don't have to, you just do it.
Yeah.
Wherever God has put you and whatever you have, whatever's in your hand.
Come on.
Use it, and use it for the glory of God.
I love it.
And he'll take you and he'll do more with that than you can do with your best strategy and all of your skill and everything else. And
Love that.
I think it took me this long to learn that, but I'm getting there.
That's incredible, man. Well, you're an inspiration, and what you've been doing in the industry, but also in the worship community with Far Flung Tin Can, previously now Far Flung Worship, has been incredible. So thank you for what you've done.
And thank you for what you do with this podcast.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man.
Man, I've got to see some friends on here, and I've got to watch several of the episodes. You have my buddy Marcus on here we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
So he's incredible too. So man, I think you're doing a great thing, and just keep doing it. And it's an honor for me to be here, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you didn't have to, so I appreciate you did. And thank you guys so much for being a part of this episode, for whether you're listening on Apple, Spotify, here on YouTube. Definitely check out all the links in the show notes or description here to connect with Jeremy, connect with Far Flung Worship, what they're doing, connect with Joel Barnes, see where he's leading and what he's doing, and all of that. But it's been incredible. It's been encouraging. And Jeremy, hope to talk to you again, man.
Yeah.
And maybe we can have you come play and sing sometime, or see you at another place, another venue. Who knows? But thank you for coming to while you were in Nashville for songwriting session. And shout out to Jessica and all those connections, man. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for being a part, and we'll see you next week.